Our selection of action steampunk games is a must for all fans of steam engines, grotesque flying ships, and adventurous romance of the century before last. And even those who are not should come and familiarize themselves with this unique genre. BioShock Infinite is a colorful, twisted, and literally ethereal first-person shooter with RPG elements. The game also combines iconic science fiction ideas with philosophical undertones about religion. Famous game designer Ken Levine and his studio Irrational Games, now Ghost Story Games, are involved in the release of the project. The game is set in 1912 in the flying steampunk city of Columbia. The protagonist, private detective Booker Devitt, is tasked with finding a girl named Elizabeth. It turns out that she is the daughter of the local prophet Zachary Comstock, who is doing everything in his power to find his stolen daughter and her kidnapper. In addition, the main characters have new problems. It turns out that Elizabeth is able to open portals to parallel versions of events. The Dishonored series blends stealth action with RPG elements. Both parts can be played both quietly in the best traditions of the stealth genre, and loudly with fighting, shooting, and lots of action scenes. Arcane Studios had a hand in the series with the help of Bethesda Softworks. The events of both projects take place in the steampunk city of Dunwall, the capital of the Island Empire. The main character is the head of the Royal Guard, Corvo Attano. He gets superpowers and tries to take revenge on the enemies of the crown and save the princess. In the second part, you can play as either her or Corvo. The choice of character affects the style of play, the amount of action and blood. The Thief series is a series of first-person stealth action games. The first two projects, the Dark Project and the Metal Age, were developed by Looking Glass Studio. After the 2000s, most of the developers moved to Ion Storm Austin, which released Thief Deadly Shadows, considered the best of the series. The controversial Thief game of 2014 release year was already created in Eidos Montreal studio. All parts of the series are united by the main character, a thief named Garrett. He lives in a cruel medieval world, in an unnamed city, where there is magic, as well as steam inventions and machines. The protagonist doesn't fight much, preferring to operate from cover, jumping out of the shadows at his opponent or striking from behind.
If you got a job for me, let's hear it.
Are you sure you're up to it? Okay, so here's the gig. I've got a whole list of people with shinies worth stealing, and you've got a city to reacquaint yourself with.
Lies of P was one of the most pleasant surprises of the already busy year 2023, even if fans of Souls games think so first. These masochists, who love to sit on the same boss for hours and run to the same places, are never satisfied. Even though the founders of the genre, From Software, released the Dark Souls trilogy, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. What about Bloodborne, you ask? Undoubtedly, it is one of the best games in the genre, except that it is not available on PC and the new generation of consoles. Apparently, the developers at Korean studio NeoWiz have decided to take advantage of this by creating their own crazy version of Bloodborne with Pinocchio and Steampunk. Yes, the plot of Lies of P is based on the story of a reanimated puppet that wants to become a real boy. But the parallels to the famous children's tale end there, and a dark and harsh, but at the same time mesmerizingly beautiful, gothic, action thriller full of pain and suffering begins.
Fulfill. Your destiny.
Steelrising is an action RPG developed by Spiders, set in an alternate history during the French Revolution, where you play as Aegis, a mechanical warrior fighting against a tyrannical king Louis XVI and his robotic army. One of the most intriguing aspects of the game is its unique blend of historical events with steampunk aesthetics, featuring beautifully designed 18th century Paris. The game offers a variety of combat styles, allowing players to customize Aegis with different weapons and abilities. Additionally, Steelrising stands out for its challenging gameplay, drawing comparisons to the Souls-like genre while offering its own distinctive twists. The game has received praise for its detailed environments and innovative take on a pivotal historical period, making it a must-play for fans of action RPGs. Gloomwood is a very curious indie project, stylized under the games of the early 00s, which is a love letter to the classic parts of Thief. Moreover, the authors even consulted with the creators of the original series, so they got the blessing to invade the shrine. Since the game is being developed by the creators of popular retro shooters like Dusk, Amid, Evil, and Ultrakill, many players immediately started paying attention to the shooting and action. However, this is first and foremost an immersive stealth horror game set in a dark Victorian metropolis where all hell breaks loose. The next project in our top of steampunk games is Sir, You Are Being Hunted, a first-person shooter with stealth action elements from Big Robot Studio. The protagonist was experimenting with an ancient, powerful device. Something went wrong, and our protagonist was thrown into an alternate world of the Victorian era to a mysterious megalith. Here, history has taken a different path, and the advanced technology is considered to be STEAM devices. The player must collect spare parts for this device, after which he can return home. The Falconeer is a project with a unique concept that mixes many things. It is a game about aerial battles, where not fighters, but giant warbirds, dragons, and flying ships take part. Although the game looks like a kind of interactive concept art, where there is nothing but a beautiful idea. The Falconeer is surprisingly well made in terms of gameplay and narrative, for which it even won the BAFTA award for Best Debut Video Game. The steampunk project Guns of Icarus Online stands out among online games. It is an MMO with elements of an airship control simulator. The peculiarity of the game is that players join a team, control the airship, there are models with different characteristics and combat features, and fight with the same players. Players have access to the professions of engineer, pilot, and gunner. Each of them is responsible for a different zone and helps the airship to move, shoot, and maintain combat status. The fourth member of the crew is the captain. He directs the operations of the aircraft. Battles are fought in first-person view, but you can switch to third-person view if you wish. A series of colorful steampunk games is a spin-off of the weak project of Orcs and Men. The plot revolves around a goblin thief named Styx. He tries to survive in a cruel world where humans, elves, dwarves, and orcs rule. Along the way, the protagonist wants to understand the history of the origin of his race, not forgetting the benefits for himself. The action of both parts, Styx, Master of Shadows, and Styx, Shards of Darkness, takes place first in the Atrium Tower, where the Tree of Life is located, which produces valuable amber, and then in the impregnable city of the Dark Elves, Karngar. In Assassin's Creed Syndicate, there are no steampunk elements as such, but we have included the game in the selection because the action takes place exactly in the period associated with steampunk, the second half of the 19th century, the height of the Industrial Revolution. You can expect dynamic and realistic fights on the streets of Old London, tooth-crushing combos, chases in cabs, and fights on the roofs of trains. Fight against injustice and save the oppressed. Use your brain as well as your fists. Otherwise, you won't find reliable allies to help you fight the enemies who secretly control the city. If your favorite game is not included in this list, write in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please read the description for more details. If you enjoyed the video, please support the channel with a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to watch more.